Celebrities, politicians, and even athletes have begun revealing their darker sides. Coded signs, eerie rituals, and bizarre moments have all been captured on camera. Are these just coincidences, or is someone powerful pulling the strings behind fame and influence?
Rituals, ceremonies, everything to give light to the devil, to Satan. It's a satanic music industry.
The 2013 Super Bowl halftime show wasn't just a concert, it became one of the biggest moments in modern conspiracy culture. Mid-performance, Beyonce raised her hands to form a diamond-shaped triangle. Millions of viewers saw it. But for conspiracy watchers, it wasn't choreography. It was a signal. The triangle, long tied to Illuminati iconography, has roots in secret societies dating back to 1776. Her fans said she was sending a message to Jay-Z, but it looked like she was pledging allegiance on live television. Whether simple stagecraft or a public ritual, that one gesture cemented Beyonce at the center of the celebrity Illuminati narrative that still circulates today. A decade later, Beyonce's eldest daughter, Blue Ivy Carter, reignited the same fire. In 2023, at the end of her performance, the young star confidently threw up the same diamond sign her mother made famous. It went viral online. Was this an innocent imitation of her mother's trademark, or proof of something deeper, a legacy being passed down? Conspiracy theorists argued this was a symbolic initiation, the next generation of a hidden elite trained to normalize these gestures in front of millions. For them, this was a public glimpse at how secret societies ensure continuity through family lines. But it did not end there. In June 2025, during the Cowboy Carter Tour, mid-performance, Beyonce's youngest daughter, Rumi, raised her hands into the same diamond sign. The crowd cheered, but online, the reaction was very different. 3 family members, 3 sets of hands forming the Illuminati symbol over the years. Coincidence? Branding? Or ritual? It seemed like the Carters weren't just performers, but gatekeepers of a hidden community, using pop culture as its stage. Whether marketing or something more cryptic, seeing Rumi do the sign convinced many that the symbolism was deliberate, and we were watching a generational ritual unfold in plain sight. Satanic plaque.
This is Sharon Duffing at the Minnesota State Capitol. It is Friday.
In 2024, this video from Minnesota's Capitol building shocked the internet. A woman was recording herself while showing a plaque. It was boldly engraved, "The Democratic Coalition of Satanic Worshippers thanks Governor Tim Walz for not standing in the way of spreading Satanism in the state capitol." Whether prank, protest, or real dedication, it was displayed publicly.
Is this plaque in honor of our Governor Tim Walz?
For conspiracy theorists, this wasn't satire. It was a slip, a rare open thank you from a group that usually hides in shadows. They claimed it proved politicians knowingly allowed dark networks to operate inside our highest institutions, blurring the line between government and ritualistic influence.
It reads the Democratic Coalition of Satan Worshippers.
Exposing interview. In 2024, former Boyzone star Shane Lynch sat down for an interview that shook the entertainment world. He openly claims that albums are prayed over demonically before release.
Albums are prayed over demonically. Music is prayed over demonically.
According to Lynch, rituals and ceremonies are carried out to give light to the devil. These weren't vague hints. He said it plainly. He didn't hold back, calling the modern music industry satanic.
Rituals, ceremonies, everything to give light to the devil, to Satan. It's a satanic music industry.
For years, people suspected dark forces behind the glamour of pop culture. Now, one of its own was saying it on record, fueling the belief that the music industry isn't just selling songs. It's spreading a hidden network of ritual influence.
For all your Sam Smiths, to your Dojo Cats, to your Beyoncés, they are so demonic, it's unbelievable. And we can't, it's in front of us.
Blood Moon Ritual. During the blood moon lunar eclipse, Lady Gaga appeared on stage draped in blood-red robes, priests circling her as caged women writhed beneath. The entire performance, with red lights, ritualistic movements, and eerie chanting, looked more like a mass ceremony than a concert. Viewers flooded social media, calling it witchcraft and satanic worship. Critics said it was just theater, but others pointed to Marina Abramovich, Gaga's mentor, known for occult-themed art.
The category is dance or die.
They claim these are transmissions, embedding spells and contracts into our culture. Every frame, every move is a sigil, and Gaga isn't just a performer, she's a delivery system. What do you guys think about it? Comment below. Diljit's controversy. At his Brisbane concert, Punjabi superstar Diljit Dosanjh electrified fans until a single move flipped the narrative. Mid-performance, he lifted both arms and formed a triangle, a symbol historically tied to the Illuminati. Social media viewers started accusing him of accepting Satan as God and joining the secret order. The backlash was so intense that he had to address it at his Sydney show, denying any ties to such groups.
This is a crown chakra, not Illuminati thing.
But denial only fuels speculation. In a world where mainstream stars become cultural messengers, even one gesture can be a silent contract. Whether he intended it or not, Diljit's moment on stage fed the perception that another beloved artist had been marked by the same shadowed network. Unholy live ritual. The 2023 Grammys became a global altar when Sam Smith and Kim Petras performed their hit, Unholy. Smith appeared dressed as the devil, the stage engulfed in flames, dancers in red demonic costumes circling them like acolytes. The broadcast called it art, but the imagery mirrored rituals documented in occult circles. Viewers weren't simply watching a performance. They were absorbing a coded display of loyalty to powers behind the curtain. This was protocol, executed on primetime TV. The Grammys, once a celebration of music, have become a platform for normalized ritual, embedding dark symbols in the collective consciousness through sight and sound. Defiled cross. At Super Bowl 58, all eyes were on Taylor Swift and Blake Lively, but it was Ice Spice who delivered the signal. Wearing what many claimed was an inverted cross, she flashed devil horns and demonic gestures directly into the cameras. The moment looked like a bold transmission, a sign of allegiance to the same dark hierarchy her host allegedly courts. The inverted cross and hand signs have long been ritual markers, not stage gimmicks. In a world where celebrity acts double as propaganda, Ice Spice's gestures seem to be a part of a larger choreography of normalization, where ritual and rebellion merge for mass consumption. LeBron's pre-game ritual. LeBron James's warm-up routine went viral not for basketball, but for what looked like an elaborate ritual. First, he did Freemasonry's secretive hand sign, then the 666 devil mark, the Baphomet chest release, followed by exsufflation, a ritual act of blowing and hissing tied to ancient renunciations and infillings. Finally, he spread his arms wide as if dispersing energy across the court. In another clip, he was seen doing the Illuminati sign and Osiris Risen X, unmistakable signals of obedience. These moments did not seem like superstition. They might be a public rehearsal of hidden doctrine. With every sign, LeBron reinforces that sports aren't immune. Occult signals. In 2024, a clip of footballer Kylian Mbappe sent conspiracy forums into overdrive. During a match warm-up, he was filmed flashing the horned hand, a sign long used within occult circles for recognition, thumb pressed over fingers. He performed it with his left hand, the dark hand in cryptic practice. Moments later, he raised his fingers into the sign of the Witchers or moon sign, historically used by Satanists to greet the rising moon. These weren't random gestures from a sports star. The sequence looked like ritual greetings found in secret orders, executed on one of the most public stages in the world. For researchers of hidden networks, Mbappe's handwork was about initiation, a broadcast of devotion. Senate shock.
We are graced with the presence of ministers and members of the Satanic Temple of Arizona. Please stand today.
Arizona Democrat Juan Mendez shocked viewers during a Senate floor session in February 2024. Wearing his mask, he formally honored priests of the Satanic Temple, praising their admirable action and saying he felt honored by their presence.
The mission of the Satanic Temple is to encourage benevolence and empathy among all people. They embrace practical common sense and justice.
Cameras rolled as he extended this welcome inside the state's legislative chamber, the heart of civic power. For decades, researchers have said politics and occultism intersect behind closed doors. Mendez's public commendation looked like that intersection breaking into daylight.
The temple practices non-theistic Satanism divorced from superstition without any belief in gods or devils.
With every word, he normalized the presence of an organization dedicated to satanic ideals, embedding ritual respect inside the machinery of governance. To conspiracy watchers, this wasn't just symbolism. This seemed to be infiltration, an open-door policy for dark networks inside politics. Subliminal message. The weekend's performance took a dark turn at a 2024 concert. While the crowd danced under flashing lights, the word Satan suddenly appeared on a giant screen in eerie red visuals. Take a closer look. For a moment, the arena felt less like a concert and more like a ritual space, bathed in demonic light. This was clearly a subliminal message, a brief flash designed to bypass conscious thought. For intrigue watchers, it was confirmation that modern pop concerts aren't just shows anymore. They're coded ceremonies, showing imagery and frequency to condition the masses under the guise of entertainment. Putin's double. In 2025, Russian President Vladimir Putin's historic landing in Alaska sparked a frenzy online. He did not get attention for the politics, but for himself. Clips showed subtle differences in height, posture, and facial tension. Was it really Putin, or one of the rumored body doubles used to shield him? Conspiracy forums went further, suggesting that the double isn't just for safety, but part of a larger ritual of power where leaders are cloaking their true selves while attending high-level meetings. If the real Putin stays in the shadows, who exactly is shaping world affairs in the open? While talking about Putin for years, reports claimed that Vladimir Putin's security team collects every trace of his waste, even feces, during foreign trips, locking it in sealed containers and returning it to Moscow. Officially, it's to stop foreign intelligence from analyzing his DNA. But intrigue circles say it's more than paranoia. Some believe Putin isn't hiding health data, he's hiding what he is. The rumors of body doubles, strange twitches, and secret medical protocols have merged into a single theory. The man on the world stage might not be entirely human at all. Share your thoughts about it in the comments below. Stadium summoning. A German soccer match turned into something unrecognizable. It was 2024 when fans were chanting in perfect unison, forming a massive pentagram across the stadium, banners calling for Lucifer to rise from the abyss. From the center, a colossal devilish figure appeared, captured in dozens of videos. Whether projection, hologram, or manifestation, the ritual was unmistakable. It was a coordinated invocation at a mass public event. The chanting, the symbols, and the emergence were a stage summoning, a public demonstration of loyalty, turning sport into ritual. Coffin entrance. At the 2023 Wasafi Festival, Diamond Platinums made an entrance that left audiences uneasy. The stage glowed red. Performers in eerie robes marched with lanterns in their hands, and a coffin was carried to the center. Moments later, Diamond came out from inside. The crowd cheered, but the scene looked more like a dark practice than a concert. From the color symbolism to the ceremonial setup, every detail showed ancient occult practices of rebirth. For many, this was initiation imagery shown live to millions, a theatrical nod to the darker forces said to rule the music world. Witchcraft on stage. Footage from a Taylor Swift concert in 2023 surfaced, showing a scene straight from a ritual manual. A circle of figures in black robes, each holding glowing orbs, joined hands around Swift as she stood at the center. The formation, the orbs, and the choreography mirrored ancient summoning rites described in grimoires. This wasn't random stagecraft. The visuals encoded occult geometry on one of the world's biggest platforms. Swift's position at the center and the ring around her turned a pop performance into what many believe was a real invocation, hidden in plain sight under the name of art. But it was not the end. During Taylor Swift's Eras Tour, the concert shifted from nostalgic to unsettling. The stage transformed into a burning forest, lit with flames. Fans called it her witch ritual moment. Not just theatrics, but a calculated display of occult symbolism. The visuals, combined with her movements, showed patterns long associated with secret societies. To many observers, it looked like an initiation ceremony disguised as art. Whether planned by Swift or her team, that section of the show cemented her image not only as a pop icon, but as a willing vessel for hidden powers seeking to normalize ritualistic imagery on the world's biggest stage. Pyramid transmission. On stage in Argentina, singer Nicki Nicole stood before a flashing pyramid projected behind her. There was an eye displayed in the pyramid. As she came forward and gave a signal, the eye vanished, but the pyramid behind her pulsed like a beacon, the classic Illuminati seal replicated in real time. This wasn't underground anymore. It was a ritual made mainstream. The eye, the pyramid, the timing, all aligned with the coded language of secret societies. Viewers thought they were watching a performance. What they got was a live transmission of symbols that have guided occult power for centuries. In today's pop culture, the line between entertainment and initiation has vanished, and the message is no longer hidden. Hidden gesture. During what appeared to be an ordinary rehearsal, Mariah Carey stopped mid-song to tell someone to stop vaping, but her fans slowed the footage down, and a different story emerged. Did you see that? Her hands curl into the 666 gesture, the same symbol of power linked to witchcraft circles worldwide. It did not look like a fan-caught moment of diva attitude, but a glimpse behind the veil. As cameras captured her scolding, she flashed the mark associated with satanic pledges, used by secret societies to broadcast rank and loyalty. Mariah's slip was a signal that these gestures are encoded protocols running through entertainment's biggest names. Devil's horns. It happened in Washington, D.C., 2024, While Benjamin Netanyahu delivered his speech before Congress, Democrat Ben Cardin was caught on camera, flashing the Masonic devil's horns. Not a subtle fidget or random hand movement. The classic two-fingered salute documented in Freemasonry and occult handbooks. To people, it was nothing, but to believers of hidden societies, it was confirmation. Inside the highest halls of government, ritual hand signals are exchanged like passwords, reminders of allegiance to structures older and darker than democracy itself. Power triangle. A video from the Élysée Palace raised eyebrows across Europe. French President Emmanuel Macron stood at the center, surrounded by his cabinet, all posing with hands forming a triangle. Officially, it was just a formal portrait, but to those who study hidden societies, it resembled the unmistakable symbol of the global elite.
But unlike in the past,
the triangle has long been associated with control, enlightenment, and allegiance to higher orders. For many, this wasn't a slip or coincidence. It was a message shown in plain sight, a declaration of unity under the same invisible network that guides world leaders from behind closed doors.
sit in after a host of others pulled out of the race to stage.
Madonna and Triangle. For decades, Madonna has flirted with esoteric imagery from Kabbalah to her infamous cone outfit. But in her song Illuminati, she mocked conspiracy theorists while naming Jay-Z and Beyonce, claiming they weren't members.
It's not Jay-Z and Beyonce. It's not Nicki or Lil Wayne. It's not Oprah and Obama, the Pope, Rihanna, Queen Elizabeth, or Kanye.
For many, this was classic misdirection. Madonna, they argue, wasn't debunking the Illuminati. She was protecting it. Her own costumes and stage designs showed triangles, eyes, and ritualistic symbols. She once admitted she knows who the real Illuminati are. Was she talking about enlightenment? Or revealing in code the puppet masters pulling strings? When the Queen of Pop sings about the secret, she might be denying it or disguising it. Take a look at this 2012 Super Bowl halftime show. Madonna didn't just perform, she staged what looked like an initiation. She emerged seated on a golden throne, a horned crown gleaming under the stadium lights. Around her moved performers dressed in ancient ceremonial robes, evoking temples of old empires rather than a football halftime show. The choreography, symbols, and props matched ritualistic iconography from mystery cults. For conspiracy researchers, this looked like a live broadcast of a high-level occult ceremony disguised as entertainment, designed to normalize ancient practices in front of millions without them realizing it. Public revelation. While reviewing security footage of a public gathering, a worker caught something strange. Eric was seen calmly standing among the crowd when he formed a clear triangle, the unmistakable sign of the hidden order. Just as the gesture appeared, Laura Trump tapped his arm and he immediately dropped his hands, returning to a neutral stance. The timing felt less like chance and more like control, as if she intercepted a signal being sent in public. For those tracking these symbols, it looked like an internal code slipping out and being quickly managed before more eyes caught it. Demons and elections.
High-level demonic networks, let them be broken, let them be torn down in the name of Jesus.
In 2020, Donald Trump's spiritual advisor Paula White took to the pulpit after Election Day and delivered a sermon that showed ritualistic incantations. She spoke of breaking and dividing every confederacy against the election and called out demons as if naming real entities interfering in politics.
We break and divide every demonic confederacy against the election, against America, against that who you have declared to be in the White House.
This wasn't the language of a mere political prayer. It sounded like a battle invocation straight from secret warfare. For conspiracy analysts, her words were less about metaphor and more about revealing the hidden spiritual fight behind elections, a coded confirmation that demonic forces and ritual countermeasures shape outcomes at the highest level.
In the name of Jesus, from South America, they're coming here. They're coming here.
Barbara Marx Slip.
Thank you so very much. I didn't know what a remarkable place I was coming into.
At a talk in Santa Barbara, futurist Barbara Marx Hubbard suddenly said something that froze the room. The babies we eat.
The babies we eat, the food we eat, the wars we fight.
She didn't laugh it off, correct herself, or act embarrassed. The words just hung there, as though intentional. Hubbard was widely respected for her theories about human progress and spiritual evolution, but she also had connections to influential circles that spoke in layered, symbolic language. That slip of the tongue only added fuel to long-standing rumors about hidden meanings and secret codes. Those close to her never explained, and perhaps they never will. To this day, that brief, unsettling phrase remains one of the strangest moments in her public talks.
We are the first species on the face of this earth to be aware of evolution.
Diamond gesture.
Like diamonds in the sky.
During the 2023 Super Bowl halftime show, Rihanna lit up the stage with her performance. But what caught global attention wasn't her voice, it was her hands. Mid-song, she lifted them into a diamond shape, a gesture long tied to the Illuminati's all-seeing eye. Fans defended her, saying it's part of her hit song Diamonds, but the timing and precision felt deliberate. Her history of using that same gesture in major shows only added to the debate. And conspiracy followers were not convinced at all. Their disagreement went wild when Rihanna's 2018 Met Gala video went viral. Her appearance sparked a wave of controversy that still hasn't settled. She arrived dressed like a high priestess, wearing a pope's hat, jeweled robe, and intricate silver gown. The event's theme was heavenly bodies. But her presentation felt like a performance. To many, it looked less like fashion and more like mockery of sacred symbols. From the crown to the cross motifs, her entire look inverted traditional reverence, turning it into a visual ritual. Observers say this seemed to be a coded symbolism, a public display of power.
It is designed by John Galliano, and we've had a few fittings, we've had it in a few colors.
Satanic performance. Twin Temple, known for their satanic doo-wop, took the stage in 2022 dressed head to toe in ritualistic attire. The scene looked straight out of an occult ceremony. Red lights, inverted crosses, and chants disguised as lyrics. Alexandra and Zachary James performed a dark rite, making no effort to hide their allegiance. The audience treated it like a concert, unaware that every sound and gesture mirrored centuries-old invocations. They've performed with other bands known for occult imagery, and their growing popularity shows how easily these rituals have merged with pop culture. What once hid in secret temples now plays under stage lights. Pyramid Gate. On May 7th, 2025, Beyonce's live performance of the Star-Spangled Banner became one of her most controversial. The screen glitched, revealing a veiled woman, then shifted to Beyonce inside a glowing pyramid, standing like a high priestess. This wasn't just stagecraft. Kimberly Thompson, her former drummer, accused her of extreme witchcraft and dark magic to control those around her. For many, the pyramid wasn't a prop, but a spell gate, a prism of energy channeling something beyond music. Beyonce wasn't simply singing, she was casting her presence like a ritual broadcast. Cross mystery. At the 2024 Streamer Awards, Johnny Gilbert's performance sent fans into uproar. Cameras clearly framed a cross topped with devil horns, Baphomet, during his set. This wasn't accidental staging. The angles were deliberate, making sure the symbol was seen worldwide. Known for his dark aesthetic, Johnny's act blurred the line between edgy performance and outright ritual. Viewers saw it as another instance of mainstream platforms normalizing satanic imagery under the guise of art, proof that they are trying to attract the people with all these acts. Dark ritual. The 2014 Grammys performance of Dark Horse by Katy Perry was unlike any other that night. Her entrance was more than it seemed, surrounded by dancers in dark costumes, dark lightning, and bizarre probes. There were giant statues cloaked in black robes with demonic horns on their heads. The stage resembled a demonic temple more than a set. When Juicy J joined her, the energy turned heavier, almost ritualistic. While fans cheered the theatrics, conspiracy forums called it an open display of witchcraft symbolism. Secret exchange. This footage emerged of Lady Gaga and Helen Mirren from 2022, exchanging a gesture that sent conspiracy circles into overdrive. The two icons, in full view of cameras, flashed the horned hand symbol at each other, a gesture long associated with secrecy recognition. People did not notice anything weird. It looked playful, but to those who track elite symbolism, it appeared to be a coded interaction, a public sign between two initiates. In a world where powerful figures often hide in plain sight, this was read as a moment where the mask slipped, a rare glimpse of hidden networks communicating through ritual signs. Bohemian Owl. One photo of Kevin McCarthy in Hawaii was enough to ignite outrage. On his shirt, the Bohemian Club's owl emblem, the same group Alex Jones filmed at Bohemian Grove performing mock cremation rituals before a 40-foot stone owl. McCarthy had just attended the Grove weeks earlier, a site tied to decades of rumors about elite occult ceremonies and missing children. Seeing the owl appear publicly while Hawaii burned felt to many like open mockery, a brazen display of allegiance to the same hidden order accused of shaping world events behind closed doors. Star sign. Right after the big win, the players huddled together, but their celebration wasn't just cheering. A few of them raised their hands, forming a precise star-shaped sign, caught instantly by the cameras. Within hours, the clip exploded online. Fans recognized it as more than a random gesture, a mark long associated with occult energy and secret societies. In symbolism, the star represents invocation, power, and unity of forces. Whether or not the players knew it, that moment linked their victory to something much older than sport. A ritual coded into movement, watched by millions without realizing what they'd seen. Secret letters. During President George H.W. Bush's funeral, a strange undercurrent rippled beneath the formal ceremony. Cameras captured famous figures discreetly opening letters slipped inside their programs. Faces turned pale, shock, confusion, unease. These weren't thank you notes. For many, it was the glimpse of a hidden network at work. Messages about unfinished operations, alliances, or warnings meant only for insiders. The footage has since become one of the most enduring modern conspiracies, not because of what was said, but because of the silent, synchronized reaction. It felt like a code being activated in public, cloaked as a funeral. Watain's right. In October 2013, Worcester Palladium, Massachusetts, fans expected a metal concert, but entered something closer to an initiation. Swedish band Watain filled the hall with flames, scattered bones, and an oppressive atmosphere. Then their frontman hurled a bucket of thick red liquid into the crowd. The smell was sharp and raw, making some flee. Watain has long blurred the line between performance and ritual, but that night was unmistakable. The stage didn't just host music, it hosted a rite. Every movement felt like a deliberate act, a dark ceremony performed in plain sight under the cover of art. Occult display. When Gorgoth performed Carving a Giant live, the stage looked like a page torn from an ancient ritual. Sheep heads mounted on spikes, actors bound to wooden crosses, streams of red liquid flowing across the set, all under a glowing crimson light. As the band played Possessed by Satan, the performance crossed into something deeper than shock value. This was a blueprint of old rituals, reenacted before thousands. For some, it was the edge of the theater. For others, it was a ceremonial invocation dressed up as a concert. Either way, the audience became witnesses to a rite disguised as entertainment. Kanye's silent procession. During Kanye West's Yeezus tour performance of On Sight, fans caught a moment that felt more like ritual theater than music. Women dressed in white with their faces covered stood motionless as Kanye performed, as if waiting for an unseen signal. Minutes later, they moved in perfect unison, walking off stage without explanation. For conspiracy watchers, it mirrored ceremonial exit rites, a live enactment of cult choreography in front of thousands. In an era where artists embed messages into their shows, this wasn't just staging, it was symbolism executed with precision. Live revelation.
It is the secret symbol of the Illuminati, and you're a part of it.
On a live talk show, Jim Carrey stunned audiences by openly making the Illuminati sign around his mouth, sticking out his tongue. When asked about it, he laughed and replied, "Don't you know what it is?" repeating the gesture on national television.
Oh, like you don't know what it is. You don't know what that is.
I have no idea.
To many, it looked like a comedian trolling. But to conspiracy researchers, this was a moment of controlled disclosure. A Hollywood insider mocking the public by revealing a symbol of the very network he once entertained. In one gesture, he flipped the conversation from joke to admission, embedding the sign forever in broadcast history.